Trust is one of the fundamental needs in any relationship, whether it's friendship, romantic involvement, or family ties. Therefore, in this video, we will discuss the 9 characteristics of individuals whom, according to Stoic philosophy, you should never trust. However, identifying who they are and what their essence is relatively straightforward. To achieve this, all you need to do is analyze their speech and actions. I will provide comments on each of these individuals and explain why you shouldn't trust them. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, because in the end, I have something special for you, and as always, stay strong till the end. Let's move on to the first type of people, narcissists. When dealing with narcissistic individuals, Stoics remind us of the importance of not allowing the behaviors of others to disturb our inner peace, remaining indifferent to their self-centered actions. Consider how to preserve our mental peace amidst their arrogance. If someone constantly talks about themselves and shows little regard for others, that person is not someone you can trust. Because their eyes only look at themselves, and they constantly prioritize their own needs. Who they are doesn't matter. You can't trust narcissistic individuals because they elevate their own image as if it were the most important thing in the world. They want to be better or superior. They are the kind of people who will do anything to enhance their image, and this compulsive desire and self-admiration are extremely dangerous because it's impossible to know what they're willing to do to maintain their image. They typically blame others for their own mistakes. Don't trust people who try to impose themselves on you, because these individuals can harm you at any moment to achieve their goals. Second type of individual. They are gossipers. Stoicism also teaches us how to deal with gossip and hurtful words from others, giving power to others' opinions about us. If someone keeps another person's secrets, if someone discloses or shares information, it's likely that the same person will gossip about you and your life behind your back. Believe me, it's almost certain to happen. When someone gossips, it's not just a habit, it's an action done for pure pleasure. So, just because someone is your friend doesn't mean they won't tell your secrets to others. Don't even think about it. Don't make this mistake. The only advantage you can gain from gossip is if you want the information to spread, because then all you have to do is tell the gossip, and they'll do all the work for you. Third type. The person who constantly angers you. When it comes to dealing with tense or manipulative individuals, Stoicism teaches us the practice of self-reflection. It offers us the opportunity to pause and consider how our perceptions and reactions affect the situation. If you're going through a tough time in your life and find yourself easily losing patience with someone, it's not because of that person, but due to the daily stress you're experiencing. This is a situation where you may feel calmer, but constantly get angry. However, if it's specific to being around a certain person, the situation is entirely different. If that person has the ability to constantly anger you, it's because they subtly provoke you by throwing confusing ideas at you, feeding your doubts in small doses, and thus preventing you from fully understanding their emotional and psychological games. Believe me, there are people who behave like this purely for pleasure. So, be mindful of these subtle little games, because if the person in front of you is always saying things that anger you, and you don't even realize it, then you need to pay attention. Fourth type. They are indecisive individuals. When it comes to indecisive individuals, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we want. We can control our own decisions and actions. It's easy to explain why these individuals are not trustworthy. How can you trust someone who constantly hesitates to make decisions? How can you trust them if they can't even determine the direction of their own lives? Moreover, they are entirely unpredictable because their personalities are not fully formed, so you can't know exactly what their decisions will be. Indecisive individuals are those who lack the strength to take action and choose the path they want to follow. To be honest, trusting an indecisive person is like trusting a child with a knife. You don't know what they'll do when you're not around. Fifth type. They are hypocritical individuals. Stoicism advises us to be cautious when dealing with hypocritical individuals. Rather than worrying about their actions, we can focus on developing virtue within ourselves. You've probably had a similar experience. They seem to like you, but spread rumors about you behind your back, and this behavior spreads to others, so don't be surprised when others speak poorly of you. One moment they're smiling and acting friendly, the next they're speaking negatively about you. My advice for dealing with such behavior is this: as soon as you start to notice it, it's better to exit the relationship as quickly as possible. Sixth type. They are nosy individuals. From a Stoic perspective, it's important to set boundaries in conversations and share information carefully. Stoicism advises staying away from individuals with insatiable curiosity, as it can lead to the disclosure of harmful information. Moreover, this curiosity can stem from jealousy. It could be linked, so always be mindful of who you share information with. After all, it's hard to be sure that someone won't use your information in a harmful way in the future. If someone constantly shows curiosity about something, it's best to distance yourself from them or not trust them, but it's important to make something very clear in the current conversation. Don't confuse this with excessive curiosity. What I mean is, when you start to get to know someone, or when you start talking to a friend, that person may occasionally look for a topic or try to get to know you better by asking questions about your life, your work, your projects, etc. This conversation is just a normal part of it, but what you need to understand is that a nosy person is someone who will constantly ask you questions about your life and sometimes sensitive topics. For example, the person might ask about your salary, which is already a bit odd to ask. If you decide not to answer and change the subject, the person will ask the same question again later. That's what I'm talking about. This is the type of person I need to be cautious about before giving my trust. So not only should you not trust these types of individuals, but if you have the opportunity, distance yourself from them. Seventh type. They are the ones who are friends with everyone. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control how others perceive us. Stoics emphasize the importance of developing authenticity rather than seeking universal approval. They smile at everyone, wish the best for everyone, hug everyone, and always say yes to everyone. Can you trust them? In short, they are famous types who want to be popular, outgoing, and please everyone. I'm not saying I should judge someone just because they have these characteristics. My advice is not to blindly trust them, because someone who smiles at everyone, tries to please everyone, and constantly makes promises has only one goal: to be popular. Their aim is to be the center of attention. So for them, you're just another person to win over. These types of individuals are after attention. They live in illusions. It's always good to be suspicious knowing this, because an outgoing person who desperately wants to be extremely popular will quickly move on to someone else and be on to the next person. You might be someone who constantly criticizes others. A Stoic will emphasize the importance of self-evaluation constantly. Rather than spending time criticizing others, Stoic, focus on improving ourselves and our character. If our focus is on improving ourselves and our character, if someone spends their time criticizing others by gossiping, spreading rumors, or trying to damage someone's image, that person is probably of bad character. Can someone who spends their time gossiping and speaking badly about others have anything better to do. If you're a decent person with things to do like taking care of your own business and paying bills, I imagine you probably don't do that. What I'm trying to say here is that people who excessively criticize others don't have better things to do and are so unhappy that they make unnecessary comments about others. So, don't be skeptical, disrespectful, or understanding towards these types of people. Because if someone easily speaks ill of others, they can easily start speaking ill of you, if you've gone this far. Congratulations! If you trust and respect someone who has some of these characteristics, comment below. But wait, it's not over yet. There are 2 more types of people to show you. 8th type. They are the ones who are always involved in many problems. Stoics encourage us to take responsibility for our decisions and feelings rather than blaming luck or circumstances. These individuals live with problems and intrigues. Claiming to be unlucky, they say life is a punishment, bringing new challenges every day and new consequences every day. They claim to be there and not knowing what's happening to everyone, saying everything is difficult. Ultimately, be careful with these types of people. There's nothing wrong with being suspicious, because if someone has problems, it's not a coincidence. They're not the victim of a conspiracy by the universe. They're the ones who sabotage themselves every day. They probably make bad decisions, don't learn from their mistakes, and likely can't control their own emotions. So, I recommend being suspicious of these types of individuals, because if you're always willing to sympathize with them in their sad and difficult stories, their problems can quickly become your own. So, be careful. Gather obstacles, and the only real difficulty like these dramas is themselves, and I don't think you want this difficulty around you. 9th type. They are the ones who pretend to listen to you. Stoicism guides us in situations where people pretend to listen, encouraging us to be assertive and, if necessary, to move away from unproductive conversations. You know those people who simply respond with a simple, "Yes, I understand, that's right," when you say something and try to share an idea, without responding with anything else. This can be annoying and even disrespectful. Worst of all is when the person says what they want and doesn't engage in conversation. They pretend to listen when it's your turn, but their attention is diverted by their phones, or they agree with you without really caring about what you're saying, so they heard you, but they're not actually listening. Let's be honest, the minimum requirement in a conversation is for the other party to pay attention to what you're saying. Otherwise, it's not a conversation. So, if you're talking to someone one day and that person isn't paying attention to you, or worse, starts using their phone while you're talking, clearly showing that they're not listening to what you're saying, just stop talking. It's not worth talking to walls. If the other person isn't paying attention or is just pretending, don't waste your time. If that's the case, stand up and say, "I'm leaving. Whatever you have to say is enough for me." There's no need to waste your time with people who aren't interested. In summary, analyzing different types of people who can undermine trust provides valuable lessons for seeking more authentic and meaningful relationships. By embracing Stoic teachings, we learn to maintain our inner peace, develop virtue, practice authenticity, and use self-control in challenging situations. Anyway, that's all for today. We've reached the end of this video, and I sincerely hope that all these pieces of advice will be helpful to you. Remember that you're an important part of this channel. So, if this video has helped you think or learn something, leave a like and a comment to help more people discover the powers of Stoic wisdom. If you don't know what to comment, write "Stay strong" to let me know you've made it to the end. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Remember that every little step counts on your personal development journey. Keep moving towards victory. Thank you for your interest, and seek refuge in the Creator.